So, welcome to an informal conversation, coffee chat about cruising with the club and what to do with your boat in the club and different ways you can use it. So we're gonna start out with, you can see here is the cruise schedule for 2023. Keep in mind this is a revolving, this is pretty final here, but sometimes there'll be tweaks. Like I'm looking at June 9th to 11th. It won't be Count Harbor, it is going to be the Isthmus. So this year, we get 4 trips over to the island, which I'm looking forward to. We'll have 2 golf cruises and 2 Isthmus cruises. So here it is, plan your work schedule around it. Some people take Thursdays, go home Mondays. So no excuses for not showing up because of work this year. If you have any ideas of adding cruises, impromptu is good. Oh, we're going to talk now about the reciprocals. When we do all of these cruises, we heavily used our reciprocals last year. We used almost 20 reciprocal clubs, which is fabulous. It saves our people a lot of money in slip fees and convenience because we have a place to go party. You want to be, when we do reciprocals, and you can use them at different times of the year. You don't need to go on an official cruise. Ron and I have used them before. If we just want to get out of town for a weekend, we'll go to Cabrillo, or we go down to Dana Point. You just want to make sure you get a hold of the dock master and see if they have room. When you're visiting a reciprocal, be sure to dress appropriately. Go in and spend some money at their bar and be friendly.
You have to fly your birdie.
Fly your birdie.
You have to wear your name badge.
And your name badge.
And you're representing Sylvie Yacht Club, so please keep that in mind. Because
So
big
we
success
have
we are.
reciprocals from Santa Barbara all the way down to the tip of San Diego. If you have questions, if you want to go out on your own and you don't know quite how to go about doing it, just reach out to me and I can let you know. I always get the dock master's name off of their websites.
And there is a difference between just going and have dinner someplace or going and taking your boat. Almost any club, regardless of the geography around the world, will take you in for a meal. Taking your boat's a little bit more difficult. Just not difficult, just planning based on space.
Yes, so you don't have to have a boat to visit the reciprocals. You can use the meal privileges. You can go down to Balboa and have a dinner. Or Dana West, which is a great club. There's all kinds of clubs. There's 3 of them in Newport, a couple of them in Dana Point. You can go up to LA, King Harbor, up to Marina Del Rey and just visit. It's fun to go in and visit a club and see how they do things. Take a picture of their menu and send it to me. I have been touring every kitchen when I stop and visit a club and getting to know the chef. So there's all kinds of things that we can learn, and camaraderie we can create by reaching out and visiting other clubs and getting to know their members. This year I kind of want to encourage them to come and visit us too, and come maybe get some slips through our port captain, come join us for a meal, and just create that camaraderie up and down the coast.
And I'd also add, when I traveled a lot on business, I'd get on Google Maps and I'd say, figure out where the nearest yacht club was, and if I had a break from business, I'd go over to the yacht club, and it was fun. So, Virgie Exchanges?
And you want to talk about Virgie because you've done it.
So, Virgie Exchanges, this club is very supportive. That's all of these things. That's how we got all of these. And this club is very supportive of doing Virgie Exchanges. And if you are going somewhere, if you will contact someone from the ship's store, we will give you a Virgie to take with you. Then, if you exchange it, you bring back their Virgie. If it doesn't work out, then you bring back our Virgie and you give it back to the ship's store. And we are going to do a better job of tracking those this year than we've done in the past. But we like to encourage that. when you're gonna do a Burgee exchange, especially if it's with a foreign, if you're in Europe or someplace, it's always good to send an email in advance. But we've done, probably 25 of these Burgees are ones that we exchanged, Ted and I, and it's kind of different pretty much most times. Sometimes the best you can do is get an office manager, sometimes a bartender, sometimes a club officer, that it's to do the exchanges. And also look and see, they might have our Burgee, because our Burgee is pretty well distributed, but they might have the old Burgee and not the new Burgee. So if they have that, then take the old Burgee and give them a new Burgee.
Do you have a Nashville Burgee?
Yes, we do.
As you all know, I'll be spending some time at the Nashville Yacht Club this year.
Can you mention about the slides being available online so people don't?
Yes, when we're done with this presentation, we'll be posting all this online. It has lots of resources as you see when we go through the slides. So now we have hosting an event, which can sound scary, but it's really not that scary. I want to invite Ed and Peggy up. They were brand new members. I don't think they were a member more than 5 months when they volunteered to host the island event, which is, well, one of our biggest cruises out there. They did a fantastic job. So thank you.
Use this one? Yeah, just turn it on. What do we do? Hello? Green light?
Test. Okay, I'm Ed Camille. That's the correct pronunciation for everyone who's asking.
Not
A lot of
Shamil
consonants
Shamaza.
at the beginning there. C-H-M, what? Anyways, so as Bardell said, we hosted the Two Harbors Island event last year. We were only members for a short time. We just fell in love with this club. That's what happened. And so this family is great, and we love all you guys. And so what happened was, could you go back one slide, please? We were at a meeting, and we saw one of these pieces of paper, and we saw TBD where the Isthmus Island event was. And we looked at each other, and we went, that's us. Because we love Catalina, we go there all the time, been going for 40 years. It was us, so we decided to do it. And it was a lot of fun. It was great.
It was a lot of fun for us too.
So, to answer the question, how do you host a cruise, right? What do you do? I can only really talk about this one because it's not the same as a cruise that would be at a yacht club or, out on slips, because this one's out at the moorings, so it's a little bit different. And anyway, so what do you have to do? The first thing we had to do was figure out what our theme was, and we chose a basic Polynesian theme kind of thing. So once we did that, it became trying to figure out what events we were going to do, and we'll get to that in a second. I'm just covering the main points right now. So what events we were going to do, and once we had the events and the date and everything else, there was time to make a flyer. So we got the flyer, which then became part of the scuttlebutt and history in the website probably. And then along with that became drinks and food, which Peggy will talk a little bit about also. And then, once we had the theme, we had to come up with some party decorations. So we went and figured out what we had, what we didn't have, what we had to buy, blah, blah, blah. And then finally it was the cleanup, and we'll cover some of those details in a second. But basically, one of the little bit harder parts was figuring out what we were going to do and what kind of entertainment. And we worked a lot with Marnell on that. And I'm going to have my wife here, who did most of the work, even though I'm getting half the credit.
Hello, I'm Peggy. I'm going to stay in this chair because it's comfortable. So anyways, so some of the challenges we had, and I think Mardell was along the way with me, and so was Diana. She helped me a lot, was one, we were just post-COVID, so it was like not many people were attending, right? So it's like you have to pick a price point, remember that? And we're like, what is it normally? How many guests do you usually have? Well, it's anywhere from 25 to 40, and so, and what's our budget? We didn't know what our budget is. You really don't know until people sign up, right? So Ed and I picked a number between 25 and 40, which was 30. And we said, okay, let's plan a menu for food for 30. And we I looked at multiple recipes, and then we tried multiple recipes out. And then Ed thought of the cocktail, which was of course the Mai Tai. He wanted the original Mai Tai. I think he really enjoyed making all those Mai Tais. We went through, I don't know how many recipes, probably 6. Our neighbors got tired of drinking Mai Tais. Everyone got tired of drinking Mai Tais until we figured it out. So anyways, then we got the food, and then, you know, we had 30. Luckily, I prepared something that could be frozen, so we froze enough for 30 people, which was a pulled pork sandwich, which had an Asian coleslaw on a Hawaiian roll. So, then, oh yeah, well, I'll get there. Okay, so, all right, so we did food and drinks, and part of the challenges is we have a smaller boat. We have a 34-foot catamaran. So our heating elements, we only have solar. We don't have a generator. So it's like, how are we gonna do all this? And then for refrigeration for our drinks, right? And ice to make all those drinks, right? So, so we looked into dry ice. So we did one whole cooler, and I think I even took a snapshot because it was the first time our ice machine was actually looking low, which was only one of the ice machines. But anyways, I took a snapshot of it. The ice machines are really being used. Put the ice all in one clean cooler for all the drinks. And then the heating elements, we got helpers. Jen was one of our helpers. Mardell was one of our helpers. We had 3 different crock pots and filled them up and had various people heating them for us. So then entertainment. So kind of went through a lot of entertainment. Oh, you like the entertainment? Okay. So, but the first entertainment, the part that you liked was not the original entertainment. The first was just like, what are we gonna do? Okay, first Friday night, we're gonna wrap up in the back, do some appetizers. All right, second night, Diana called and said, I heard you need help. And so we did the float up behind her boat, and we did hot dogs. And then as people were signing up, we're like, gosh, we really need to entertain these people. So I used to be a Tahitian dancer back in my teens, and so I pulled out all my stuff. I started dancing for my husband. I did a snapshot. I sent it to Diana. What do you think? And she's like, I love it. Then I wanted someone really tiny to fit into the skirt that was the teenage, right? Well, anyway, so I figured that's going to be too hard to get a recruit that was really tiny, so I had to upsize my skirt, okay? But anyway, so we just kind of did some YouTube videos, learned to dance. He was telling me, you're crazy. It was like a week before going there. So then he started getting into it once he saw me doing stuff. So he, of course, did the, what was it called? Haka dance. And we had his cousins helping us, and they were game with doing whatever. We dressed them up, we threw them out there. You know, they didn't really know what they were doing, and Cindy wasn't good on it. Almost fell off the boat. We had to like cut her dance short. But anyways, everybody had a good time. And then I threw in a hike at the end, and I threw in a scavenger hunt at the end. Sadly enough, not everybody knew about things because the poor person at the Scuttlebutt, or was it Facebook, we kept adding events as we went. Oh, there's more people, we gotta do more things. So anyways, it all turned out really good. What was my last thing I needed to talk about? I think, oh, decorations. So my main thing was, I don't know how many people are here. So Diana told me about the storage. So I met her over there. It was like a Hawaiian thing already. So it was great to save money and not spend a bunch of money on decorations because we didn't know what our budget was. And basically we ended up, do you want to talk about budget? Okay, there you go. You're welcome.
Okay, so that goes to what I called the cleanup earlier, and you have the little toilet paper thing there. Very graphic. It wasn't that bad of a job. Anyways, what is the cleanup? Well, first of all, just putting everything away, and then I really want to help. I really want to thank the helpers: Diana, Robin, Mardell, Laura, Rebecca, and Martin, and my cousins. And I probably forgot a bunch of people, but everybody that helped, it was great. I mean, that really made it a whole lot easier for us and a whole lot of fun. So then the final part was the paperwork, and I have just a copy here. But basically, you have to fill out an expense report. Many of us have done that. We know how to do it. It's not too bad. But just so you guys know what we did, we had 81 people registered, which was
Yeah.
way above what we thought about. It was
That was
awesome.
fun.
It actually turned out, that was
Yeah.
great. I think we had, what, 25 boats or something?
We had more than 25.
More than 25, holy cow.
81 people
Yeah, it was crazy.
in the hotels and
Yeah.
camping up on the boats.
Yep.
So the good news was, that 81 people brought us $2,025, of which we spent on expenses 865, meaning we made $1,160 for the trip. Thanks to you guys, all showing up and contributing, and it was fantastic, so.
Yeah.
Well, you had food for 30 people?
The sandwiches got smaller.
I have your call Peggy and go, okay, you got 50 now.
Yeah, she
Okay,
did.
you got 60 now. She goes, I gotta go to the store and get more pork.
Yeah, I had to keep cooking more as we found out more people signed up.
Yeah.
I had to keep making more drinks and I kept
Oh,
getting drunker
darn, you
and
kept
you know,
having to
whatever.
taste them.
It's very fun. Thank you very much for stepping up and
Well,
hosting.
do you have any questions? Any questions about hosting? Matt?
I hope that you get.
Yes.
No, the question, so the island event we had last year was a little bit different than years past.
Oh, good.
No, it was good, I had fun. I'm just curious, did you get any, feedback?
We did.
Everybody said it was a blast.
Okay.
That's all I heard.
Great, yeah.
I had one complaint about the drinks being too strong and I said, let the ice melt.
And one thing I try to emphasize with them is when we're in the island, we wanna be in the water.
Yeah, right.
So that, I said, try and plan the water. Each cruise we have is gonna have a different personality on it, which makes our cruise program even richer. Cause all of these, even, where the Pirellis, I saw them, yeah, they're there. Even Marina Del Rey was awesome.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
took
it
us
was.
clear back to the 1980s.
Yeah.
And so that was a whole different feel. So you don't wanna miss any of these cruises, because each one has a member's personality on it and all their work that they put into it. And it's just brings us a lot of fun.
But I really don't walk around in a grass skirt and do haka dances.
And they're hosting that one again this year, so. Yay. Thank you.
Okay, Diana.
Then Diana's gonna talk about our first event coming up, Spring Fling, and then our Thanksgiving options.
My cruise just has a little bit of water.
It's close to you.
Okay, so Robin and I are doing the Steel Beach, Yacht Club Staycation Membership Drive Cruise. So I'll just lay out a little bit about what we're doing. So starting on Friday, we have a 3 to 5 p.m. mixer. It's St. Patty's Day, on the patio. We're gonna have beer and wine and appetizers, all you want. We're gonna have a big display of raffle baskets that we're gonna be raffling off. And so that'll be the first time you see them. And then we'll announce the winners at brunch on Sunday. So it's welcome mixer on Friday. Dinner's on your own, so we recommend you sign up for the Friday night dinner here. It's gonna be St. Patty's Day themed because it's St. Patrick's Day. And then Saturday, moving in there, 10 to 11:30 is our brunch. We're gonna have bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys with an omelet bar and all the fixins and everything right here on the patio. Last chance to buy your raffle tickets, and they'll be announced at 11. And get a little break, and then about 1 o'clock, we're gonna have our dinghy parade. So you wanna wear your colors and decorate your boat. We're gonna have a 4-stop cocktail parade. So each one will be for about 45 minutes, and you'll have a specialty drink. And if you don't have a dinghy, no problem. Reach out to somebody that you know does, and maybe if they don't have anybody yet, you can take them there. Or if you guys have one, offer someone that you know doesn't have one, a ride. And even if that doesn't work, you can drive, because we'll have a listing of all the boats that are doing it, so you can drive or walk. Dinner's on your own that night also. Because of that, I recommend coming to the $10 Saturday night dinner. We're we're gonna be showing, Gordon's gonna be having his whole production set up with the projector and the big screen showing Moonrise Kingdom, and the food will be meatball sandwiches, sides, all fixins. Then we move into Sunday. Sunday is 12:30 to 4 p.m. is burger and a band, and that's where the membership drive comes in, and that's gonna all be out here. It'll be featuring Trace Hombres, that will be our band. Bring a friend if you think that they're interested in joining the club. It's a good time to introduce them to it, because it's a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll have Trace Hombres, and we'll have potential people walking around that are gonna possibly become members, so Dan's good. So that's one, and then I'm also doing the repeat Thanksgiving Day cruise. Leaves on Friday, comes back on Monday. Last 2 years we did Royal Caribbean. We had 30 people the first year, 40 people the second year, and that's really fun. I don't have the flyer out for that. This year it's gonna be on Carnival, a ship that's been redone and revamped. It's gonna be beautiful. So there's that. So I'll have more information on that later. We'll probably talk about it. Very last thing, if you haven't signed up for Super Bowl and you wanna go, sign up quick. We're selling out. We're gonna close it soon.
Thank you, Diana. She's the backbone behind a lot of our activities. I really want to emphasize Spring Fling coming up. Get in the dinghies. If you don't need a big boat for this, it's very fun, and it's great to get out into Alamitos Bay and hop around to the 4 cocktail spots. It will take you places you haven't been before. So be sure to use your dinghy. There's a couple pictures of the raft ups. It's very fun.
And the baskets
And the baskets.
happy hour.
Very cute.
Okay, Avalon Golf Cruise is gonna come up for the first weekend, April Fool's Day. No, we're really not having a cruise. No, we are. So Dan and Maria Davia are hosting this one. This is fun. So this will be the first of our island events. We'll take your boats if you got a boat. If you don't have a boat, get a hotel room. So last year we had people coming up and showing up in hotel rooms, booking houses. We had one house we had 12 people pile into. So there's options for non-boat owners. Bug a boat owner and see if you can use their spare bedroom. So there's things that you can still participate, come over. So the golf tournament is very fun. It's mostly golfing. It's very relaxed. You can see the town, hit the bars, and enjoy Avalon.
And it's the best ball tournament. So it's not just your ball. It's groups of 4, you all hit, you advance to the ball, and then you all hit again. And so
You don't have to be a good golfer, right?
no, and once a year, Ted and I play golf. Once a year. That's the time to do it.
Okay, Memorial Day cruise to Newport.
Yeah, let me
35.
just add, last year I got women's longest drive, so. Or something like that, closest to the pin of longest drive.
Memorial Day cruise to Newport, Dock 35 hosts that. Wear your red, white, and blue. We'll be hosting that again this year. As you know, this is the first year we've ever booked all of the slips. So we have the whole marina there. If you're going and your plans change, call me first. Do not call the marina because I want to keep all those slips. If you call the marina, they're gonna open it up to open booking, and I need to coordinate the next person in our club that wants a slip. We also have all the moorings booked. There's some people that are upset that they didn't get a mooring, but that's okay because we have options this year. We can do anchoring, you can do a raft up. There's an anchor field right there. A lot of the clubs go down there, do an anchor, raft up, and we can have a cocktail party out at your island. So there's all kinds of options. So let me know if I can get 5 boats together that are willing to anchor and side tie together. It's a great location. There's one right in front of Billy's by the bay, you know, with the Mai Tais. And there's another anchor field close to where the marina is. We all have dinghies so you can get around. So we'll be getting that flyer out pretty soon. We're in the process of planning everything.
So, well, all these charts, all these slides where there are charts of, the different harbors, they're all, printed these all up, so you can,
They'll all
you
be in
can
the
take these
packet
with you.
online.
But you have hard copies. right?
Maps of all the harbors, all the anchoring spots. Okay, this says, Cat Harbor, but that has changed. Remember, this is a work in progress this year, we're only in January, just wait. So this Cat Harbor, it's gonna be the Isthmus, we get 2 Isthmus events this year. Brandon, Kim, and Bergeron will be planning, I know, in their new boat. So that'll be fun to pile in, and Dave, you just got your flyer together, I think. So she's got all kinds of fun things planned for that, so try and make the Isthmus. The nice thing about going to the island, the buoys are first come, first served. We can usually get more boats there. If we go to a reciprocal club or like Newport, we're limited, it's a little harder, we have to be more creative. So if you don't, try and make the island events. Oh, July 2nd, we're gonna have a patriotic dinghy and Duffy parade. So July's gonna be a fun weekend, because the 2nd, we're gonna have the Duffy parade. The 3rd is the Big Bang, and then you have July 4th. So I know they always have the Big Bang party up here. You can take your boat out and side tie for the fireworks. We have a side tie wrapped up slide in here later. But the dinghy parade, I think we had 30 dinghies last year, all decorated. We made the newspaper. They were so impressed. So that will be a fun weekend. So be sure to block that weekend out and use your little boat.
Marta, they're still looking for a host for that parade.
For what?
For the 3rd.
Okay, well, they are. Okay, where's my Captain Dee? I have a Captain Dee. I Captain Dinghy and Duffy Man this year. He is in charge. You're not coming up yet, but that answer will be answered pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yay!
You're gonna run that boat parade.
Absolutely.
And a lot of others. We're gonna get little boats out here and flood the parade.
At least once a month we're running.
But what Diana is saying is that there's not a host for the party at the club.
Oh, the 3rd?
Yes.
Oh, there you
Nobody's
go.
interested.
If new members or whoever who wants to run, is that Saturday or Sunday?
I don't
I
know
think
what day
it's-
it falls.
So what is that about?
The 3rd.
July 3rd?
July.
3rd of July?
Bank States.
4th of July?
Big day, it's
Big
big day on the
day.
bay.
Well, we have the party person, that's Lori Merrill, and we have a new chef, so they'll take care of that. It's always a fun time. But the dinghy parade on this is the 2nd. Okay, then we have the island event, which Ed and Peggy will be hosting. If you want to get a room, you better call the Banning House now. Cause I think I'm loud. I'm usually very shy. So call the Banning House and get a room. I think maybe they might have 2 or 3 rooms left at this point. Long cruise, I'm gonna let Joan talk about this. This is if you want to really learn about your boat and cruising, this is the cruise to sometime put on your calendar, because so many things happen and you learn anchoring, rafting, problems. Last year our engine went out and how to find a mechanic clear down in San Diego. So it's a great learning experience, and Joan puts that whole cruise together.
So, this is really this is a tentative schedule. This is what we did last year.
Get on the mic.
She's too quiet.
This is a tentative schedule, this is what we had last year, it does by necessity need to be limited to 10 people. That's all that really each of the places that we're going can really handle on a pretty much guaranteed basis. There's always a place nearby. There's always people who cancel. So if you're flexible, we can make it work out. And this cruise, like Mardell said, I think it paid for her membership last year. Because all of these reciprocal clubs, I calculated that it was about somewhere, depending on your boat size, between $1,000 and $1,500 that it would have cost you to have gotten a slip at any of the places that we went. So anyway, this is some pictures from when we've done it. We all raft up at the Jolly Roger dock. That's in Oceanside. That's the only one that we have to pay for. And you can see that there is lots of rafting up here. The clubs have gotten good about taking their long dock areas and designating them for for other clubs to come. Whereas before we used to be all over the place. Now we're like right next to each other, so we become really good buddies. Anyway, even dogs go. We play bocce ball. People drive down. It's a lot of fun, but by necessity, it's 10 people. We haven't, and another couple of months, we'll put out the information about it. And again, if you're flexible, we can make it work.
Joan, is it 10 people or 10 boats?
10 boats, I'm sorry, 10 boats.
Yeah, well, that's better.
And there's great land opportunities for this, because there's so many hotels. The train, I'm kind of thinking of trying to organize a land cruise. You can take the train down to Old Town San Diego, which is very close to the San Diego Yacht Club, and there's some great hotels nearby. So we
You can also take the train to Oceanside, that's supposed to be
Oceanside,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, you can.
Mhm. So there's options there that we'll be exploring and expanding on this year. And if you're like Joan said, we can add more boats if you're flexible and you like to anchor or be across the way at a different club. There's possibilities.
So Joan, can working people do this? Like, can you work?
Can working people?
I mean, people
It's
who don't
gonna
have.
be here.
No, it isn't, as long as somebody's not working to get your boat down there, right? Or.
I'm just wondering if
Well,
you
you
can
have
work on your
internet,
boat.
it's up to you.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, we have events scheduled, usually it's one touch point a day. We don't have a ton of things
Okay.
going on. But once a day, we like to, it's breakfast, well, you can kind of see from,
Most places have
from
the
this.
Wi-Fi.
Most places have, Donna Reed's done it, and she continued to work, and so it can be done.
Cool.
Maybe do half of it, if we
Yeah,
can get
and
more
it
slips at
depends which-
Oceanside and turn around and go back, do parts of it. Some people will come down and just meet us in San Diego.
And then you always go back on your own. Let's get you down there, that you go back up on your own because everybody has different schedules and I don't usually arrange going back up. It's 200 miles, if you're curious, it's been 214 miles for the last 3 years,
Round trip?
round trip.
Right?
Right.
It's a good way to see if you can stay with your husband for 2 weeks on your boat.
Let me tell you, if you can cruise for 2 weeks, you can cruise for 13 years. Honest, if you can cruise for 2 weeks, 3 weeks for sure. But that gives you, because we used to, that gave you get groceries for 3 weeks, your clothes, and you have to do laundry in 3 weeks. So if you can do this for 2 weeks, you can cruise for 13 weeks.
Oh, nice.
The phone cruise is great. That's where Ron and I really got to know people on a different level.
And we got to know you guys because of the problems with the boat. And we met an awful lot of mechanics.
Well, all hats off to Ron because I was going, let's turn around and go home. And he was going, no, we're gonna push through this. And we actually ended up solving it, so. Okay, Marina Del Rey. Dawn and Hugh hosted that along with Ed and Colleen. That was a very fun cruise. This is always Labor Day weekend. And while we're up using reciprocal slips up there, they're down here using our reciprocal slips. So that's a kind of a fun end to the summer cruise. A beautiful club. We hop around sometimes to 4 different clubs. I need a host for this one, right? Unless we twist their arms to do it again.
We'll do it again.
Repeat.
But Ed and Peggy, yeah, they told you how easy it is, kind of. that, right now, we're winging this one, but the cruise will go on. So the Thanksgiving cruise, I will book the Long Dock at Cabrillo Yacht Club again. They had a fabulous meal. We had 30 people sign up and come for, I think it's 35 actually, come for dinner. It was very fun, very quiet, very peaceful. We waved at the big ship as you guys went by. We saw you go out on the Royal Caribbean. So that was a fun weekend. Okay, so here we go, dinghy around the bay with Eric. This year I added Captain Eric, and he's Captain DD, but dinghies and duffies. I don't think he's ever gonna be a good DD, designated driver, but he will be a good Captain DD. So DD, I'm hoping this year to plan some more outings, to go visit Alamitos Bay Yacht Club, do some happy hour hop arounds, do some dock open houses, maybe some progressive dinners, and get all the dinghies and the duffies out on the water and let people know that Seal Beach Yacht Club is here and fly our duffies. Eric, do you wanna say something?
No, I just, we're gonna do this once a month, and preferably on a Sunday early, so if anybody, other than if we have a dinner thing, everybody will stop at places and have it's a booze cruise, come on. And we will end up, make sure that everybody can get back for a grill your own on a Sunday. So I figure if we put it all together and leave like at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then cut it around 3, everybody will be having a great time. I will have tow ropes for all the drums, get you back to shore. But short of that, it's just gonna be a fun outing around the bay, and we'll just discover new places.
It's a good way to end the weekend and come back for grill your own.
Mardell, real quick, I love that you guys are putting this on, this is awesome. But as we're talking, and I'm thinking about people that don't have boats, when we have the dinghy things, maybe we can utilize the slip right here. So anybody available to take people, people can just, whoever doesn't have a boat, go down there, the dinghies that are available to get people on, and kind of like a taxi service, right? Hop
Yes,
on and
I'm
take
glad
them
you
out.
brought that up.
So
That was
then
the
it's
point
not
that-
up to the
yeah.
people to make the connections, but hey, if you need a ride, we're gonna be down here.
I like that. That's a good way to get that organized, so thank you.
Well, plus we'll have duffies, so we'll have room for a lot more people.
Well, the people that have duffings, yes.
Brad has a
We like that, who else has a
And
duffy?
also, if we know the dates, London boat rentals, heck yeah, let's fill those boats up.
Oh, good idea, Brad.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah, maybe we can even make
So
a
if we
deal
know
with
the
them.
dates, you could reserve the London boat rentals, or even the place behind Catalan.
Okay, yeah.
Good idea.
You know,
So
we're
that's not-
crab pot, we're gonna do for sure one outing to Alamitos Yacht Club.
Yeah.
And invade their shores,
Yeah.
drink all their beer.
Exactly.
Okay, sail your own boat, I'm gonna have Joe talk about this. All you sailboats out there, if you're thinking in the back of your mind that someday maybe you wanna race pop tops, or you wanna get involved, or you want to go to Ensenada, or if you don't have a sailboat and you wanna get involved, what you can do. The sail race calendar is up there. I'm already I'm not gonna beg this year, but I need committee votes. So you power voters have gotten my emails. I will be sending you out every other week dates that we need committee votes for. And Joe, if you have questions, you want to come up here and talk a little bit about what to do. If you wanna raise your vote, be crew on a boat. We have one of the best race programs on the bay, and so let's keep that going and excel on it.
All right, so, Terry is the expert, he's over there. Let me tell you something, on those short runs like that, short runs, no, short.
What's a short run?
Short run. You go from here to there, to there, to there, and you're back.
It's called buoy racing.
That's it.
Oh, that one.
That's hard. Terry is really good at this, okay? The longer ones, I'm a little bit better, but he's the expert on the short.
The short ones are easier, by the way.
Are they?
Yeah.
be a crew on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna be a crew, you go see Terry.
Well, that's a good point, right? So part of what Rick, Jane Clays and I are trying to do is get a couple 22-foot boats out here, so our club members have the opportunity to use them, right? So we're in process of making that happen. A little bit of logistic pain in the butt, cause it ain't free. But, so that's an opportunity, so if you wanna learn how to sail a small boat, we're trying to set it up so that people wanna sail, and then as you get the basics down, then it's a good opportunity to jump on the boat to go out and do pop tops and these Saturday and Sunday sailing type races, and it's a good exposure. And when you get into a learning boat, and then you have some basics down, and then you get into a racing boat, at least you have the foundation, and it's not so overwhelming. So one of the challenges, you get in a race boat, everything happens so fast, you're overwhelmed. Oh, I can hold on.
They like each other.
You can be overwhelmed, and it can be intimidating, and sometimes it turns people off. So the idea here is to slowly graduate people into another level of sailing. I love sailing, I've been sailing my whole life, and I just, I haven't learned my lesson apparently. So, buoy racing, great. Terry runs a great program. A lot of boats in here race Saturdays, or Thursdays and Saturdays, and the calendar is full. Thursdays are great, show up. If you don't even want to race, you participate in the race program. Do the race committee, finish line, and say, you had a great time out there. I'm quite envious. You guys are out there partying. I'm like, what the hell? I'm sitting on a cold boat.
Hey,
Anyway.
I'll heat the decks for you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. At least the beer's cold, thank you. Anyway, so buoy racing, it's a good time, and we're trying to set it up so people have the opportunity to learn and progress in the club.
I think that's pretty exciting to have those 22-foot boats. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And we have so many new members that join
Yes.
because they want
Yes.
to learn how to sail, so this
Yeah.
is important.
That is excellent, Terry.
Terry takes the mic.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've given this lecture to all of you so many times. I think you could repeat it for me. How many of you want to be in a committee boat? How many of you want to donate your boat to the starting line? We don't want to pay for it. Unfortunately, we're the small club of the bay. Los Alamitos Yacht Club and Alamitos Bay Yacht Club, and Long Beach Yacht Club have their own committee boats. They're paid for by the club, and they go on out there and they run a tremendous race program. We run probably a very, very good race program. We know we do. And we fill that slot for the PHRF racers. If you know any of your friends and stuff that would like to go on out there and start the races by furnishing their boats, sitting out there and watching us crazy racers go on out there and enjoy the day, like Gordon. Gordon has done very good. He's done one. He's going to do another one here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate it. We've got several more races this month, so we got some more to fill up. So we need some more help. But anyways, we appreciate any of that you do. We're lucky to have volunteers in this club that do this, and I always appreciate your volunteering. So I thank you for doing that. We run a good program here, and I thank you all for doing it.
Okay. Let's back up to Alamitos and Long Beach.
So as the non-sailboat person here, let me decipher a couple of things. PHRF is
Pacific Handicap Racing Fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna sail, how many sailors we have in here? Maybe I'm just talking to a bunch of powerboat people. Get your sailboat PHRF. That's your first step. It's very quick. If you don't have a sale number, get a sale number, SCOIA will get that for you, and your sale maker will pop it on your sales. Then you will get a handicap. For those of you that golf, you understand what handicaps are. And there is a PHRS Southern California, and that's the one you want to use. So that handicaps, so it evens out the measurement. Every boat has its own little handicap according to what weight it is, the design, the sails it has, and any special modifications on it.
Say, and another thing, if you're want to be on somebody's boat, it's good to get educated. There's the Safety at Sea program coming up, SCYA hosted. It's February 4th and 5th. No, that's a different thing. Safety at Sea, it's coming up. And that will get you, you know, you really shouldn't just show up to somebody's boat. And this will help you be trained more when you go on somebody else's boat. And if you go, you sign up. Whenever it's a SCYA event, we're doing Club of the Year. Whenever you go to an SCYA event, we are SLBYC, not SBYC. SBYC is Santa Barbara Yacht Club, and we don't want to give them our points. If you ever go, sign up, register, make sure it's SLBYC, make sure that I know so that we can count it into Club of the Year points. But this is a really good program, the Safety at Sea, and I think you have to have something like that when you're doing Ensenada race.
You do. Very quickly on the next few bullet points, Safety at Sea courses for Ensenada and any of the offshore races are needed. So at least, if I remember correctly, 30% of those you can do it at SCYA or you can do it online. It's an excellent course. I've taken it. As far as the rules, Terry will tell you, Bob will tell you, that all those rules are set by the notice of race. Every race will have a notice of race. You always read those very carefully because it tells you what the awards are, what the rules are, and they're all very well detailed with links. Another item, how to determine the course. The organizing committee, whoever it is, in this case, when Terry goes out there, they'll go ahead and select the buoys that they're going to, the markers that they're going to go to according to the winds. On something like offshore to Newport to Ensenada, the NOSA organization, Newport Ocean Sailing Association, they will go ahead and set that ahead of time. They call it a run line, and that's your race course, and it's a measure. In this case, it's 127 nautical miles. A lot of guys end up doing 150, 160, depending what kind of winds you think you're going to find. So I don't remember what the other bullet is. Fitting your boat. You know what? It depends on what you're racing. Locally here, you can spend tons of money on sales, or you can spend a little bit of money on sales. That's all very different. On offshore racing, you do want to have some minimum safety equipment. There's lifelines. There's the satellite systems. There's AIS. All kinds. But again, those are very well determined by the notice of race folks and the SER. They call it safety. I forget what SER stands for, but it's United States Sailing Equipment for racing. So,
hey Joe.
Yeah.
Did you know that the new iPhones have an SOS feature on them?
No, I didn't know that.
Actually, pretty cool. So the idea behind the cell phones is they've integrated technology into the phone such that you're away from cell signal. There is an SOS device, and if you are offshore or you are hiking the mountains, you have the ability to send a signal through satellite to get help. So, I have a little old phone, but I've been looking at new phones, and I saw that technology. I'm like, that's pretty darn cool. I mean, if I'm ever out offshore and electronics batteries die, that never happens. Just kidding. Inside joke. Then you have a way to get help. So nice consideration.
The last item, getting crew. Basically, you get your crew right here, so show up over here, order a beer, and start talking to everybody around you, and you'll have some crew.
Yeah, and then I would, so, it hasn't really been announced yet, but we are going to go after the Club of the Year again. And SCYA hasn't published actually what their criteria is, but we're told it's the same as last year. So, this midwinters, for those people that do race, please race your boat in the midwinters. Because last year there's two different parts of midwinters. There's racing your boats and then the club having an event. And we get points for both. So, if you aren't gonna race your boat, please race your boat in midwinters.
And, I have a point, Terry is looking for a committee boat for we go back to the regatta, which is February 25th and 26th. And then the ones in March, March 11th, March 25th, and that should get us through this, Saturday series. Whatever, so if you're available, let me know. Getting on a boat, there was a new member, she's not here tonight, but Lisa Jones, that's how she got on Blue Flash to race pop tops by having a drink here at the bar and being invited on a boat because she was asking around, so it is possible.
Just, because we're talking about sailing and safety, we are also going to, at the end of February, start the Power Squadron, and those classes are gonna be here on Thursday evenings for about a month. So that's,
We have the flyer.
We have a flyer
okay.
that we're gonna,
Yeah, Ron and I took those classes, they're great.
You wanna say anything specific about Ensenada or?
Yeah, just real quick, we're in February, it's on the calendar, I forgot what date it is, I have to check every single time to remember, but we're gonna have another kind of briefing, a little more detail on heading down there, what's happening once we get there, whether you're going by boat or going by ground. So,
How many people?
so we have reserved, NOSA called me about it, they wanted to know, it says you have 23 rooms reserved. I said they're pretty much all full, so. I think, if I remember correctly, we've got 7 or 8 boats, we're trying to get more, so please, talk it up. We picked up a new, we're going to pick up, and Terry, I wanna talk to you about this, there's someone that attended here, and we talked him into flying under our Virgin, going down Ensenada. He wants to go, he's looking for a crew. So, I think it's about 7 or 8 right now, but Dana Point is the one that has been beating us year after year.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, we wanna make that abnormal, so.
We can do it.
And I believe we can do it, so we just need to talk it up, and, you can go by crew, or, get brave and take your boat down there, spend a couple bucks, and you'll be just fine, so. How many sailboats are here again? And of
All
those?
of a sudden, you're not raising your hands.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, no, consider seriously on signing up for it, because it's a ton of fun. It's not too bad, it's not gonna be as terrible as it was last year. Last year. It was scary last year, I was scared, I had nightmares.
Okay, racing help needed, get involved. Boat owner, no boat owner in this club anyway, there's no excuses, you can be on the committee boat, you can be a PRO, you can work on the finish line. Gordon's wife Tony runs that, and it's a fabulous time, we drink wine and have appetizers and watch all the pretty boats come in during sunset. It is the best volunteer job in the club, I think.
They need to know that that's the finish line, not a party line.
That's true. Oh, we will take that.
People are working.
In this thing, we have, you're going so fast.
I screwed up.
So after race, always pop tops, it's one of the best parties in the club. Come up for a burger and a party with all the crazy sailors, it's very fun.
Yeah, Thursday night
And
party
you
night.
meet people, oh yeah, when that's the party committee, but I guess if you wanna help barbecue burgers, talk to Lori or whoever, or Diana.
Okay.
Right area. So here in this, on this handout is gonna be posted on the website, and so it has all the information about picking up a mooring. I remember our first time to Catalina we watched a lot of YouTube videos. Be sure to wear gloves, ladies, when you do this. And picking up a mooring, we have a flyer on that.
Yeah, you can just take a picture of this with your phone. I didn't make copies.
It's up at the table, and then we'll post this online. Anchoring. Maybe we can put together an anchoring class this year. There's lots of different ways to anchor. America's boating course, this is a great one to take.
This is the Power Squadron. You get a discount on your insurance if you take this, and everybody, and non-boaters, especially if you want to be on somebody's boat, you have a better chance of getting on their boat if you educate yourself on etiquette and your, yeah.
And then you get your photo card if you don't have it yet.
Do we have points for that?
We'll go back to that.
Okay,
I'll
I'll
talk
talk
on
to
that.
that with everything else.
Well, I don't know, I'm going by your slides.
That's
Okay,
the
so
last one.
part of my vision here,
Why
boating
don't you
here,
do that?
I love boating in the yacht club, but we're boaters. I love boating. We're from the San Juan Islands. I like boating up there. Ron's taking boats to Alaska. Here, I know there's a bunch of people in this club that used to charter river boats, and in Europe, there's all kinds of different things we can be looking at to be boaters around the world. So they did take river boats. Is that here? One of these days I'm gonna have Ed talk about that, about chartering a bareboat through the rivers. You've been all over.
Yeah.
The Great Loop would be fun to get a bunch of people together. Now that my husband's retiring, there's other options.
You can you can go bareboating pretty much anywhere in the world. It's just amazing. But these are two things that we're considering for 2024. That it's a lot of between now and then. But if you're interested, this is some catalogs from a company that you can rent boats from. And I priced out, the prices are all over the park depending upon what kind of boat you want, how many people you have on your boat, how many boats we rent, da. But here's some samples of how much it might cost to rent a boat for that time. And that's per boat. And if you have 4 people, like for instance, this one is $3,500. This one here.
Per day or?
No.
per-
That's for 4 people in a boat for April 17th to the 24th. I don't know how many days that is. That's a smaller boat. Usually you get a bigger boat than that. But this one here, in a reasonable price boat, from April 8th to April 22nd for 4 people, it's $7,000. Again, there's more on it than that. That's just basically, when you consider how much it costs to go on Viking River Cruise, let me tell you, this is a bargain.
Well,
Anyway,
you're running
there's
it yourself.
lots of variables on that. Joni?
When you're signing up for these bareboat cruises, you need to be careful and read all the fine print. Make sure that your dates are set, because if you need to cancel, sometimes they're non-refundable. Just be careful when you're signing up for these cruises.
Yeah, if you wanna sign up for a river cruise, for one of these bareboating cruises, talk to Ed and Lori, or talk to Ted and I. Cause we learned the hard way. We've learned some
So
lessons.
this is just a vision of where we would like to take some of the boating for this Seal Beach Yacht Club. That's our last slide. And thank you for coming, especially to the football game. Feel free. So my last thing about this boating in Europe is, I love being rear Commodore and your cruise chair this year, but I need some help. So if anybody's inclined to be a co-chair for the cruises this year, let me know. It's gonna be easy, everything's already planned. But as I move up next year. I need somebody that wanna take it over and do a good job. It's a lot of fun, and it's boating feet on the water. It's a great job, so think about it. Have a see on the water. Get a drink.